Guys, move closer. Trump is officially president of the United States of America again. And of course, the drama has started. Once again, we are back checking our phones every few minutes just to know what else has Mr. President signed or what else has he tweeted. You know, there's no break at all. Anyway, it's going to be an interesting 4 years. Make sure that you watch this video to the end, by the way, to see how some Nigerians celebrated the inauguration in Jigawa State. Now, huge shout out to Nigerian gospel singer Nathaniel Bassey. He was invited by the evangelicals to one of the events surrounding the inauguration, that is the inaugural prayer breakfast held ahead of the official event, as well as Pastor Kumuyi, who was invited to the inauguration prayer convocation at Greater New Hope Baptist Church. So both of them were there representing Nigeria, you know, shout out Nigeria to the world. I know that Trump did not attend those events, but they are equally important. So shout out to them. So what I want to focus on today is an executive order that he signed to end birthright citizenship. Let me give you the gist. So up until now, any child born in America, whether the parents are permanent residents or not, automatically gets an American citizenship. But with this executive order, it will no longer be so. Unless one of the parents is a permanent resident, which is the same as a green card holder or a citizen. So unlike what some people have been saying, this doesn't just affect illegal immigrants, it also affects legal immigrants, so long as one of the parents is not a green card holder or a US citizen. I've realized that some Nigerians in Nigeria don't understand the meaning of legal and illegal immigrants in America. So let me explain a little bit. Anybody that enters America without a visa is who America considers an illegal immigrant, okay? So if someone were to cross the border without a visa from neighboring countries, they are considered illegal immigrants. When it comes to Africans, there is no way for you to cross the border. So unless you go to Mexico and then you cross the border from Mexico. But most Africans came to America with a visa, which makes them all legal immigrants when they entered America. Where the problem is if you entered legally with a visa, all visas have expiring dates. All visas are temporary. So long as you don't have a green card, which is what makes you a permanent resident, your visa will have an expiry date. I'm sorry that I'm explaining this, but after seeing comments on my Instagram page and my Facebook page, I know it is needed for people at home to understand what is happening here. So, like I was saying, the problem arises if you entered with a visa, either visiting visa, student visa, or work visa. You are here working legally, but then you are still in America after your visa has expired and you are out of status. Some visas can be renewed after they expire, like student visa if you are still in school, you are not done with school, or you are getting another degree, as well as work visas. But visiting visa is hard to renew if you have overstayed. Of course, you have to go back to your country to renew most of these visas. But if someone is still in America after their visa has expired, then they are now out of status and they call it unlawful presence, and they are also now referred to as illegal immigrants. Does that make sense? Because they are no longer documented. I know that I'm making this simple. It's not that simple. It's complicated. And no, I'm not a lawyer, but I needed to explain this. So this new order that Trump signed applies to anyone that entered illegally, or anyone that entered legally but overstayed their visa, or if you entered legally with a visa and your visa has not even expired. You are here legally as a student, or you have a work visa, H1B, L1, O visa, R1 visa, I visa. It doesn't matter. You are paying your taxes. You've been a great immigrant. Your children born in America can no longer be American citizens unless one of the parents is now a green card holder or a citizen. And before you say, why don't they apply for green card? You don't just apply for green card. that's a conversation for another day. Or why don't they just apply for citizenship? No, it doesn't work like that. America makes it really hard, really difficult for you to transition from a student visa or work visa to becoming a green card holder. It's easier with some professions, like if you are in STEM, if you are in science, medical field and all. But if you're not, it's even more difficult. But America enjoys taking the school fees of international students. By the way, in case you don't know, international students pay sometimes up to 3 times what the Americans pay as school fees, or what the state residents pay. So international students pay a lot of money here, but so far they've made it really hard for them to transition into being residents. Hopefully that makes sense to someone. So now that I have explained the meaning of illegal immigrants, hopefully some of you would understand that it's not just people that entered the country without a visa that are considered illegal immigrants. Some people came here legally, maybe they were students, they are done with school, they are trying to change their status, and in the meantime they're out of status, and now they are being considered illegal immigrants as well. That's why I'm saying this will affect a lot of people. Now, this is supposed to take effect on the 19th of February. Already 22 states, Democrat-led states, have sued to stop Trump on this matter because he has violated the Constitution with this order. I'm sure that the number will keep going up, you know. And the reason that birthright citizenship is part of the American Constitution is a long story. In 1857, the Supreme Court in America ruled that descendants of enslaved Africans that were brought from Africa to America cannot be granted U.S. citizenship. I know, that's right, that's crazy. You went and brought people from Africa to America, you enslaved them, they're having children, but you don't want them or their children to be American citizens. The devil is like, citizens of where would they be? It's not as if they can go back home. This lasted for a decade though. People were fighting for justice, and then 10 years after, the US ratified this in the 14th Amendment to the Constitution. The amendment says that all persons born or naturalized in the United States, as well as subject to the jurisdiction thereof, as citizens of the United States and of the states wherein they reside. So that was the amendment. It's also known as the Citizenship Clause in the Constitution. So this is when it became part of the Constitution for people born here to be citizens. Although there are exceptions, like children of diplomats, I believe they get green card at birth and then they can file for citizenship later. Not immediate citizenship. Also, children of alien enemies. If you are known as an enemy of America, like let's say Bin Laden, for example, should come and have children here in America. No citizenship. In short, if you are a terrorist, no birthright citizenship. Another exemption that many people don't know about is that Native Americans, also known as American Indians, in case you don't know, those are the people that were living in the place we now call America, at least the first 13 colonies before the Europeans came. Even though the Europeans, after saying that they were the ones that discovered America, I'm sorry, you know how they said they discovered Nigeria as well. They even said that they discovered River Niger, even though our forefathers had been living there for ages. So anyways, after saying that they were the ones that discovered America, the Europeans took their land, they killed many of them, and forcibly relocated many of them. After all that, there was a time that Native Americans were not allowed to be American citizens. Now, that one is complicated because the Native Americans also didn't want US citizenship, because just think about it. They didn't want to be governed by people who invaded their land and now claim their land to be theirs, you know. Anyways, it wasn't until the Indian Citizenship Act of 1924 that citizenship was now granted to all Native Americans born within the United States. However, the act that was signed that time still did not grant voting rights to Native Americans, but hey, that's a story for another day, I digress. So since that time, it has been part of the American Constitution that anyone born in America gets the birthright citizenship. And you know, it has always been like that, which is why these states, I'm sure by tomorrow now it would have increased, but these 22 states, and not just the states by the way, even individuals and cities in other states as well, are also suing Trump, because even though he's the president, he does not have the authority to take away constitutional rights. Being an American citizen by birth is a constitutional right. It is in the American Constitution. So it's possible this case will get to the Supreme Court. Now, the problem is the issue may be in court for a while. Hopefully, it won't take too long, and hopefully they would put and hold on it until they make a decision. But sometimes they may allow the order to take effect while they are still trying to decide the case in court. So we'll see what happens. Now, if you're an African immigrant in America, first of all, if you've had children in America before now and you have not gotten them an American passport, why? My brother, my sister, take that birth certificate that they gave your child, when you had your child here in America, go and apply for a passport. Don't just say, I have an American birth certificate. Shoot. Get your child an American passport. They can't travel anywhere with birth certificate, especially if they've started growing and you are trying to go abroad. You need to get them a passport. You really don't want to put yourself in a situation where someone is asking you, the parents, to provide evidence that you are a legal resident just because you want to get passport for your child. Don't forget that this order goes into effect on February 19th. So do it now. Hopefully they will reverse it, but don't wait. Also, if you are in America with a visa and you are having children here in America while you are working on getting your green card, first of all, don't panic. Please and please do not panic. There's a huge chance that this order will be revoked. I mean, people are already fighting it left and right. A lot of people are even asking, how far do you want to go, Donald Trump? Well, how far do you want to go? Because the vice president's wife, she's Indian. Her parents were not naturalized when they had her. So people are saying, if you want to go back, you may need to start by taking away the citizenship of the vice president's wife. Hey, but they've made it clear that this executive order only applies to children born after the 19th of February 2025. So no, it doesn't apply to anybody born before the 19th of February 2025. I said all that to say people are fighting it. So please and please do not panic. There's a huge chance that this order will be revoked. In the meantime, my people, if you can hold off on having babies, if you are pregnant, please do not abort your pregnancy. That is not what I'm saying. Please don't let anybody misquote me or misinterpret me. I did not say go and do abortion. No. But some people, once they enter America like this, even if they don't have their quality, they don't have their papers, the first thing they want to do is have an American baby. I don't get it. They want to get pregnant. The baby will not be American citizen right now with what Trump is doing. So give yourself a break. I even know people who already have multiple children, but they must have an extra one because they are now in America. They want a citizen. I beg. Give yourself a break right now. I'm not saying don't do the do. Of course, you should do the do now, but there's a way you do the do without the do becoming pregnancy. Amen, somebody. Again, I'm hoping that they reverse it, but I would suggest that start working on your residency right now. At least take a step. If you have never met with an immigration lawyer, that's the first step. Sit down with an immigration lawyer to know what your options are. Don't listen to people that will tell you, oh, it has to only be by marriage. Fake marriage. No, that's not the only way to get your residency. Sit down with an immigration lawyer. They want to make money. Immigration lawyer will not deport you. A lawyer just wants to collect your money. So please meet with a lawyer. However, if you choose not to wait on having children, it's okay. But as soon as you have your baby, get them the passport of your country. So if you're a Nigerian, for example, get the Nigerian passport. If you're a Gambian, get the Gambian passport so that they can at least travel if they need to. Get them some kind of passport. And if you're planning on coming to America to have your baby, I hate to break it to you, but you may need to wait until this order is revoked. If you already have your visa, you can come. I don't know what will happen at the border, at immigration. And I don't know what will happen after you have the baby, because now they have to obey the executive order. So if you're planning on coming to America to have your baby so that your baby can have American citizenship, you may need to put a hold on that. America is not the first country, by the way, to do this. In the UK, a child born there has to live there for 7 years before they can become a citizen. So it's not just America. But this birthright citizenship is one of the things that makes America, America, Now, before I show you guys how some Nigerians celebrated Trump's inauguration, let's watch what a female bishop said to the president, Donald Trump, at the official church service that president attended the day after inauguration.
I ask you to have mercy upon the people in our country who are scared now. There are gay, lesbian, and transgender children in Democratic, Republican, and independent families, some who fear for their lives. And the people who pick our crops and clean our office buildings, who labor in poultry farms and meat packing plants, who wash the dishes after we eat in restaurants and work the night shifts in hospitals, they may not be citizens or have the proper documentation. But the vast majority of immigrants are not criminals. They pay taxes and are good neighbors. I ask you to have mercy, Mr. President, on those in our communities whose children fear that their parents will be taken away, and that you help those who are fleeing war zones and persecution in their own lands to find compassion and welcome here. Our God teaches us that we are to be merciful to the stranger, for we were all once strangers in this land.
Wow. What do you guys think about that? Ooh, let me know in the comment section. It's about to be fire. If you are a Christian, by the way, and you are answering in the comment section, make sure that you ask yourself, what will Jesus do before you answer? Lastly, ladies and gentlemen, I thought I have seen it all, but you guys will not believe it. Brother Jamil, remember him from Jigawa, who sang last year about coming to America for Trump.
He has integrity and capacity. He is coming back for world unity. I am on my way to America to meet Mr. President.
Thank you. Well, this brother organized his own inaugural luncheon for President Trump in Jigawa State. Wow. God. What can I say, Uncle Jamil? Do you know you can be prosecuted for that? They play.